And joining us now in studio, Jerry Sheridan, Maricopa County Sheriff-elect. Sheriff-elect, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
All right. So
congratulations on your electoral
Thank
win.
you so much.
So let's see. You got 40 years in law enforcement and 24 with Arpaio, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I wasn't the biggest fan of Joe Arpaio. Some of the stuff, early on I liked. Some of the stuff later, didn't really like. Wasn't a big fan. Does that mean I'm not going to be a big fan of yours?
No, absolutely not. I'm Jerry Sheridan. I'm not Joe Arpaio.
All right.
And I think I have pretty much a similar opinion. He was a great sheriff for a long time, and then I don't know what happened to him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can be you can be critical. I guess that was the thing that you would acknowledge what maybe the rest of us saw, where and I don't want to put words in Gaydos's mouth, but a lot of us felt that maybe public safety wasn't at the top of his interest list anymore.
Well, that's very perceptive.
Is that a nice way to put it?
I think especially the last 4 years, he won that election in 2012. And something kind of clicked in his brain, I think, and that he wasn't really concerned with being the sheriff anymore as opposed to a celebrity. And that was very difficult for me to deal with because I'd spent all those years since I was 18 years old in that sheriff's uniform. And that's why I'm sitting here today, because it still means something to me. It's my second family. And so he dumped a lot of things in my lap, which I guess was really good for me because now I can walk in there on January 1st and begin to make some positive changes right away because I know what to do and I know the pitfalls and mistakes. And I worked for 4 sheriffs over those 40 years too, and I've seen all the good things they've done, and I've seen some of the mistakes they've done. And I'm not one to want to repeat the mistakes that other people make.
What's the big difference between you and Arpaio? And then we can move on from Arpaio and really talk to you because you're going to be the sheriff.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about Arpaio and put me in, even my opponents, Joe 2.0, all that stuff. And, it's a bunch of BS because who I am, Jerry Sheridan. And so similarities, I guess we did care. I do care about the people that work there, and because they have to go out there every day and do the job to keep people safe, and that's what the sheriff's primary focus should be: is running those jails safely, protecting those inmates in the custody, and also the public. There's 4.5 million people in Maricopa County, and the sheriff's the primary responder for about 500,000 of those, outside the city of Phoenix. Unincorporated areas, right. So that's one thing we're similar about. One thing we're not. I am not a fan of media attention. I'll tell you, yesterday I was at a restaurant in Scottsdale, and a couple of Hispanic guys come walking up, and they look at me and they go, "Hey, you're Jerry Sheridan." And I look up, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, we voted for you." I was like, "Oh, okay." But that's about all the popularity I want. I want to be able to get my message out, and that's why I'm sitting here right now.
Thank you.
But I'm not I'm not going to be chasing the media, and I think that was ultimately the downfall of my old boss.
Joining us in studio is Jerry Sheridan, Maricopa County Sheriff-elect, won the election over Tyler Camp, and Sheridan, a Republican, beating his Democratic opponent. That happened a lot here in Arizona, and of course across the ways. Okay, so we've got this new president, and he says he's going to be involving, different states and cities in mass deportation. Are you in favor of Trump's mass deportation plan?
I don't know, and that's an honest answer. I don't know how it could be done, even if I did say it was a great thing to do. But people... And I'm pretty conservative, right? But illegal immigration is a little bit different issue because it's a lot different than it was 10, 15 years
No
ago
argument.
when you had the poor guy from Mexico or South America leave his poor family behind and come up here and stand on the corner and work for, a few bucks an hour and send every Friday, send all that money back to his family.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone now.
Yeah.
And so now what we see coming across the border are like Venezuela and some of the other countries emptying their prisons out, terrorists from countries that hate us and want to destroy us, China, Russia, Middle East. I mean, you name it, they're coming in, they're flooding in. So I'm not a fan of open borders. We need to fix that. But there's also the human issue of that illegal immigration. What do we do now? Because a lot of these people have come here and had babies and they're American
families,
citizens,
yeah.
and now what do we do?
Yeah.
So it's not as simple as just saying, hey, let's just deport everybody. It has to be well thought out.
So we saw that, let's see, Kate Gallego, the mayor of Phoenix, we've seen the AG, Chris Mays, and they're saying, listen, we're not going to help Donald Trump with mass deportation. And I think your answer is very interesting because Bruce and I have been talking about this, and we're like, well, how does it work?
Yeah, like literally.
What are the parameters?
What does it look like? And I think what I'm hearing from you is nobody
Not
knows
sure.
the details.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's say that Donald Trump calls you or calls the mayor of Phoenix and says, hey, we want to use the Phoenix police. We want to use Maricopa County Sheriff deputies. And we want to first, get rid of criminals who are in Arizona. How could you help carry that out?
Okay. Well, I think it's going to take a long time to get the criminal illegal aliens out of Arizona first. And then let's talk about how the rest of it's going to look. Because don't forget, the focus of the sheriff is law enforcement.
Right.
He's enforcing the rule of law to keep people safe. And you do that by taking action against people that commit crimes.
Whoever they are.
Whoever they are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if
Right.
they're illegal or not. I said this a couple of days ago to somebody. I don't care who they are. If you're here and you're victimizing and preying on the innocent, you need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So I have a question, and maybe you can help me understand how it works from the sheriff's side of the world. You encounter somebody for, I'm going to use a nonviolent crime, a low-level traffic offense. What do you do if you suspect they're not in the country legally? Is there something that the sheriff would do, or do you reserve that digging deeper for people that you arrest for felonies, for example, and you take down to the jail?
That's a very easy answer for me because I will remind you, if you didn't have it on your little paper, I will remind you.
I got a paper right here.
Okay.
Look at this.
All right, there you go.
Hey, I can't remember everything. Sheriff-elect, I can't remember everything. I got a little cheat sheet.
Don't forget, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is under a court order in the Melendrez case.
Right.
And it will soon be called Melendrez v. Sheridan, right?
Right.
You
Because
get to
I will
absorb
inherit it.
basically. Yeah, okay.
And we are strictly prohibited from dealing with anybody because of their immigration status. And it's very clear. And the sheriff's office hasn't been doing that for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So it's a no-brainer for anybody, a deputy sheriff out there in the field. They already know. They're already schooled on all this.
So the Melendrez case, if some of you out there don't know, 11, 12 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
A federal judge concluded the sheriff's deputies had racially profiled Hispanics in Arpaio's traffic patrols that targeted immigrants. It cost taxpayers $314 million. What do you regret from all that? Do you feel like that was mostly Arpaio? Did you play a role in it? Did you try and tell them, hey, listen, this isn't something we should be doing? What do you, looking back on all that, how do you see it now?
Okay. So just to make it clear for everybody, I was running the jail system when all that was going on.
Okay.
The Melendrez lawsuit was started in 2008. I became the chief deputy in, I think it was February 2011. The case had already gone to trial. I was not involved in it at all.
You walked in the middle of it.
Blah, blah, blah. Well, basically what I did is I inherited it like I am now.
Okay.
And so it was very difficult times because we were dealing with the ACLU, the DOJ, the monitor, the new court order, all those things that are going on. And it's a very complicated case. And, that's one of the reasons, believe it or not, I'm happy that I'm the sheriff, because a new sheriff coming in would take a couple of years to kind of figure out which way is up.
Okay. In studio with us right now is Maricopa County Sheriff-elect Jerry Sheridan, with a 40-year background in law enforcement and walking into a job, the fourth largest county in the United States. It's a big job being sheriff of Maricopa County.
Sheriff-elect, how about this Arizona ballot measure that was voted on in November the 5th? And it makes crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without authorization state crime, allows local law enforcement to arrest and deport migrants. It was approved by the voters. Does this have anything to do with you? Does this have anything to do with your office? How does this affect you?
Well, let me answer that in two ways.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a couple of years before it passes congressional muster, if it does, because it's modeled after the Texas law. Okay.
Yep.
So that's number one. I know everybody's excited about talking about Prop 314 and all that right now, but I think we're going to have some time to really figure it out.
Okay.
Once, if it does get accepted,
it's still working its way through the court system. It's got years of that.
And that takes forever.
Lawyers are getting rich off of this.
So besides that, again, I'll have to go back to the Melendrez court order. And so even if it did, the sheriff's office would not be permitted under the current status of the Melendrez case to deal with that issue unless, and again, I'll go back to focus on criminal actions. And that's where I really will focus on is the criminals out there, regardless of their immigration status.
How about your relationship with ICE? We heard that Arpaio had a certain relationship, Penzone had a certain relationship between ICE and the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
Can I follow up with that and add something to it? And can you help me understand how that relationship works? Especially, you had time running the jail system. I'm assuming that is maybe the closest to working with ICE when it comes to handing over people.
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
The short for radio.
Okay, short for radio.
Right.
Is ICE has agents in the county jail system.
Okay.
As an individual gets booked for a crime, they run every individual, regardless of race, color, creed, where they say they were born. They run every person through their ICE database.
Okay.
And then if they determine they're going to put a hold on an individual, they put that hold on an individual. It's that simple.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's up to ICE to choose what they want to do with them.
The federal government to do what they do with them. And I don't know. Even when I was the chief deputy there, they never told us what they did with the people that they put holds on.
Is it, and I don't know if this was just anecdotal, are some people, and I want to say I heard, ICE may just not be there to pick them up, and we have to let them go as per the law. Does that happen?
That was a legal opinion from the county attorney's office about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
We're chatting with the Maricopa County Sheriff-elect Jerry Sheridan. He's in studio. He's going to lead one of the largest sheriff's offices in the country. He's been in law enforcement 40 years, and he's taken over the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
Big gig.
Big gig.
Not as big as your.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
That's right. I agree. It's not as big as this gig, is it? Of course. Trust with the Hispanic community.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? How do you feel that's going right now? and how do you, as the new sheriff, improve it?
Well, again, there's two answers to this question.
I like the two answers.
It depends on who you are.
All right.
You know, there's activists out there that have already been out there on, who knows, they may be out there today.
Okay.
You know, on the street corner, bad-mouthing me because I'm a racist, Joe Arpaio 2.0, whatever they want to say about me. That's fine. I've got big shoulders. But the people that I deal with, the people, like I told that story at the very beginning of the show, two Hispanic kids come up to me, right? And I went to a gun store not too long ago, and the kid behind the counter, he recognized me, Hispanic kid, and, oh, we voted for you. My whole family voted for you. And I have a very good relationship with the some of the council members, the mayor in the town of Guadalupe, which we provide contract law enforcement services with, and they're asking me to bring more deputies into town to keep the place safe, and so I'm committed to doing that.
I think we hear that from a lot of people, and it may sound counterintuitive, but many of these communities want law enforcement. They want to be protected from the criminals amongst them.
Right.
The idea that they don't want any cops is ridiculous. You talk to them and they're like, no, we need more of them.
Let me tell you this story real quick. When I was a brand new deputy, I had an old-time guy, a redneck, grew up in Higley, Arizona. He put me in his patrol car, took me down in Queen Creek, where they had the migrant buildings, and it was on a Friday afternoon. We got out of the car, and everybody comes out, the women, the children, the men, and they're all, hugging them and saying hi to Chuck. We get back in the car, and Chuck looks at me, and he goes, Jerry, you know why I took you down here? And of course, I had no idea. No. And he said, because it is our job to keep them safe, to protect those kids from being kidnapped, protect their women from being raped, and to protect the men so they can send their money home. That's our job, Jerry. And that's the sheriff's office that I knew, that I grew up with.
Appreciate your time today, and we hope it's not the last time we get to chat. And when you have messages you want to get out, know that you got a place.
Well, I'm gonna put the gauntlet down with you guys because I know a previous sheriff got to come on your show on a regular basis, and I was quite jealous of him.
All right, okay. Can I respond to that? I did get a text message that said, "Why would anyone come on your show if they're just going to get ambushed?" Do you feel ambushed today?
No.
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
You're a pretty tough guy.
I don't think we scare him in the slightest. I'll tell you that right now.
I think you can handle tough questions. And I'm guessing that Bruce is reading some texts.
Yeah, but I like it.
I think he's a pretty tough guy.
I agree.
He's okay.
I agree.
Well, hey, and by the way, we wish you the best of luck. We want you to be successful.
Yep.
And as Bruce said, if there's anything that we can do to help, we're right here.
All right. Well, I'll be here for you guys too.
Copy that.
Appreciate it.
That's
cool.
Sheriff-elect, Maricopa County Sheriff-elect, Jerry Sheridan in studio with us, and we appreciate your time, being so gracious with us.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.